Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows.
You're listening to UFO Undercover with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
I had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFO. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to UFO Undercover. I hope everyone's having a great morning, great evening, great afternoon, wherever you are on our big, beautiful blue planet. You know, it's where I want to be every Wednesday. I've been doing this show a long time now, 26, 27 years. It's been around for a while now. And I was doing Wake Up USA, a UFO study before that. It's about 30 years of doing UFO radio, about 42 years in research in the field running, and then another 26 years running ICAR. International Community for Alien Research. It's been a crazy, weird, strange ride lately. Oh, hey Neil, I didn't even see you in the chat over there. How you doing? Happy Halloween to you too. I know we're getting close, huh? Speaking of that, I'm going to have to go carve a pumpkin later on. Somebody asked me, said, "Why don't you carve it on the chat, which is on Saturday?" I said, "Because that's the day after Halloween." So let's not get carried away, people. No, I don't know. I thought about going out, but I think I might. Well, I mean, I'm only 50 minutes, 40 minutes from the city, from New Orleans, and they've always got a lot of stuff going on. And it's a lot of places if you can get in now, a lot of good contests, a lot of kind of niche places if you know someone or you get there early enough, you can get in and really enjoy what's going on. Yeah, it's I hate to call it niche, but it is kind of. Well, it's niche because they're not huge places. They get really, really packed. But they're not really big, huge clubs. Now, there's a lot of big clubs around, but there's not like those. And then here on the Gulf Coast, you've got the casinos, which will all be doing something for Halloween. And they have pretty big, well, a lot of them have big clubs like Beau Rivage and Hard Rock all have big dance clubs inside. Well, they got other stuff going on besides that, too. And lots of food. A lot of time on the weekends, almost all of them have some type of live music, live entertainment. No, it's usually inside the casino. Every now and then they'll do something outside. Silver Slipper likes to do stuff in the parking lot, in the parking garage sometimes. Well, especially if you're going to host like a big crawfish boil. You don't want to do that inside. The casino will stink like crawfish for the next 2 months. Yes, it will. But anyway, welcome everyone to UFO Undercover. Yeah, it's funny I said crawfish. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, lives down the bayou, and they were talking about this weird UFO sighting that they had coming. They were actually out checking gator tags is what they were doing. And the guy said he don't know what it was. At first, he thought it was a drone. Because, there's a lot of drones flying around these days. And drones, unfortunately, make you want to think what's going on. What's up in the air, I should say. There's a lot of stuff flying around the skies these days that have nothing to do with UFOs or even top secret military projects, just drones. It's like the New Jersey stuff. Whenever they say, "Oh yeah, it's UFOs, it's aliens," well, it turns out it wasn't UFOs. It was unidentified flying objects, but it wasn't anything alien. It turns out some aerospace company was showing off for the military to try to get a contract. No, that's exactly what it was too. No, it's been made public since then. But so here we are, UFO, alien crafts, and turns out it's something different. What's that, Clara? You mean people saying they were being abducted? Well, people always getting abducted. I mean, that's nothing new. It's just, was it any more than usual for the area? No, not really. No, it just in the very beginning, the first video someone sent me, I was like, that doesn't look like something extraterrestrial. Well, it just didn't. Whatever you want to say, it just didn't look ET to me. Hey, look, it's a talent. I got to cheat when I carve pumpkins, so I ain't going to say nothing. And before anybody asks, yes, I have carved UFOs. I actually carved UFO with a little alien standing on the side. But I cheat because you get those in the kits, they have all those different pictures, and you just stick it to it and trace it out, and then carve your little happy heart out, and there you go. Well, Gene, I'm also a contractor. Well, I used to be a contractor. I'm retired now. I retired this year, actually. Feels weird, too. It's been a year since I retired. Not quite a year, but it feels weird. I don't know if I'm going to get used to this. I'm trying like hell. Well, I just want to be lazy. What are you talking about? No. Randy, it's always the same thing with UFO sightings, though. They always tell you, they always try to give you any BS answer they can give you. So you should always try to explain it away. I mean, that's part of it. You really should get out there and just really try to explain everything away that you can, so that whatever you're left with, at least is closer to being real. Because it's too easy to debunk people these days. Most people don't realize this, but I got into this as a debunker. Yeah, big time debunker. I was a real ass. Still in for that matter, and I still debunk stuff even today. Well, I got into it because, frankly, I'm like, why would aliens want to come to Earth? I mean, really, what do we have to offer but a bunch of idiot humans? I mean, look at us. We're a mess. We're not even a hot mess. We're just a mess. Yeah, it's just sad. So if you're an alien race hanging around going, oh my God, is it even safe to hang around this place? I mean, Putin and Trump are talking about nuking each other. I'm sure the UFOs, it won't affect the UFOs any, but the rest of us. Well, there's sightings, but there's reoccurring sightings by people who have seen UFOs before. Those are fairly regular. There's always a first time sighting. First time you see a UFO, should say an alien craft. What do you mean, scary things? Oh, I guess because it's Halloween, we're talking about scary things. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Linda and I, one night, were way out in the middle of that effing swamp. Just nowhere, nothing around us anyway. There's a little fork in the road, and we were sitting there on the fork at the stop sign, just hanging out, and we had the video recorder running. It was just sitting there. It was just recording nothing is what it was recording. Oh, I still got it. I got to buy another Sony Hi8 because the other one finally got destroyed. It mysteriously got magnetized. Nobody knows how it happened. Oh, it was a great camera. We got tons of stuff and all kind of weird stuff on it as well. But so what happened was we were doing these live on air one night, and it wasn't even on radio. It was on one of the support groups we work with, the UFO Alien Phenomena group. And we were on it, and we had them up as, 60 eyes are better than 2 eyes, let's be honest. Yeah, you hear, but anyway, we turn on the wall, looking, and it says, don't go there, stay away from there. You're in the wrong place. I was like, I never heard that. No, it's clear. I mean, it's clear as a effing bell on the video. But I never heard that. You would have heard, and you can hear the conversation the way it's at. So we would have reacted to it if we would have heard it. We never heard it. It was creepy. And then a couple of weeks later, we're out there, not far from that place, cruising along. And I don't even know. So I guess I'll just tell you the whole story that way, because maybe you'll have a better understanding. So we were way out in the Honey Island Swamp near the NASA facility, the NASA Stennis facility. They changed the name now, but that's what it was. And we're parked out there. And it's weird out there because you can feel, and we were 12 miles back in the deep, deep swamp. I mean, even the roads are rickety, it's swamp on both sides. There's alligators crossing the road, there's pigs crossing the road. And when I say pigs, I'm talking 80, 90 at a time with little groups of piglets, 40 and 50. It was ridiculous. You see all kind of stuff back there. Now, I've seen a doe drop at 3:30 in the morning just driving through there. I've seen a female deer stand up and she just dropped a doe, and I was like, a fawn. I'm sorry, she's the doe. You'd think after $100 but anyway, she dropped the fawn. We videotaped the whole thing. But anyway, so we're back there. We're kind of getting weirded out, and we seen. I guess the best way to describe it is a black triangle. So we were trying to see where it was going. It passed over where we were parked, way deep in the swamp. I mean, way deep in the swamp. It passed over right where we were at. And so I light up, and then, and what's great about this Nissan I had back then, it was all black. Even the bumpers were black. So when the lights were off, you couldn't see the little hussy. I mean, it was black. It had a moon roof, but it was tinted. But anyway, so we started the car, we're cruising, and we get out on the raise. It's like a levee, but it has a blacktop road on top of it. Well, it's kind of sort of blacktop. It's pretty beat up. But anyway, we're driving out of there, and we finally see it again. It's kind of headed down the road where we are, but just about 2 miles ahead of us. So I sped up, trying to catch up with it. Well, then it crossed over Interstate 59. And so I had to go up and around and back around, and we lost it. I was like, well, where the hell this thing went? And this is all just swamp up there. There's one or two little tiny towns. This is late. There ain't nobody out hardly at all. And so then we seen it again. I was like, well, what the hell? It kind of like wobbled and banked, and it came back across Interstate back on the other side of the swamp. And we could see it. So we cruised. We got on one of these little back roads back there, hauling ass, hoping there wasn't no state troopers or sheriffs, because you knew they were going to stop you if there was, and all that equipment in the car. They'd be, what you doing out here, man? We could just see it now. So, but anyway, we got lucky. And then we seen it again across in front of us on the road, and it's headed to this place called Fort Pike. And then it just kind of veered and turned and disappeared over the swamp for a minute. So we stopped at that same little freaking fork in the road where we got that weird sound. And then we realized where we were. So we left and we went up the road, and we would turn around. As we were turning around coming back, something swooped so low over the car that it pushed the tall reed grass on the side of the car down on top of the car and pushed my car entirely into the other lane. Thank God there was no oncoming traffic. It just basically, it wouldn't even feel like a push. It felt more like a scooping push. And you couldn't see whatever it was no lights. It was black that night. And whatever it was black against black. And then it was gone. So I said, I punched it and saying, maybe I can see this thing going under or across. It had built this big bridge back there in the middle of nowhere because they needed evacuation routes for hurricanes. And so I'm cruising along, and then poof, there's our triangle again. And its lights are flickering and it's wobbling and it's doing all kind of crazy things. So at that moment, I called a friend of mine, Gregory Avery. He was a director for MUFON. This tells you how long ago this was. So anyway, he's a director for MUFON out of New Orleans. So we're talking. I got him on the phone. We're live. We're doing this live. So I'm chasing this freaking triangle like an idiot, of course. And it kind of comes back over. I was telling you about the fork. It came back over the fort and banked over the top of the fort and just kind of floated out and was kind of leaning on an angle, headed out towards the open. There's like a lake in between the bayous out there. And some bitch just came down into the water. So I'm figuring, okay, it crashed. I'm figuring it must have had some kind of weirdness, something went wrong, something caused an issue, and a damn thing crashed. And it just didn't. But it didn't seem to be moving, and it did seem to be bubbling a little bit, and there did seem to be some light out there. So we parked the car. I got the guy on the phone with me. So we parked the car, get out the car. Linda's got the video camera, and the video camera running the whole time. We always recorded everything we could, so we still do it today. And so I'm on the phone, and you see this, and then all of a sudden you see these lights coming out of the north headed south. Bright, just brilliant bright lights, like scanning the surface. I thought they were helicopters or something. So, well, maybe they come and look. Nope, it's another triangle. Actually, seen 5 triangles altogether that night, 4 of which were circling the area looking for the one that went in the water. And then every now and then you'd see a big chopper come by and kind of hover around and then leave. And then, anyway, so I'm on the phone, and Gregory goes, "Joe, do you feel safe?" I'm like, "What do you mean, do I feel safe?" He says, "Do you feel safe?" I'm like, what do you mean, do I feel safe?" He said, "Well, are you okay to stay there?" And I got to thinking about what he was asking me, and I was like, "Oh, shit. Maybe I don't feel safe." Well, it was because it was very, very creepy when we were out there. And in all honesty, I hadn't really thought about it because we were caught up in the excitement of what was going on. We're taping, we're talking. This is a crazy, crazy sighting. And Greg says, "Look, I want you to leave. I would feel better if you leave." And currently at that time, he was my boss because iCar didn't exist yet. And I said, "Okay." So I grabbed Linda. We got into this. And I think we had this big. What will we end that night? No, we weren't in Nissan that night. But anyway, we hop into. No, we weren't actually. We weren't in a Nissan that night. We were in the. We had this big green Chevy station wagon with an Impala 496. It was a beast of a car. And I got it because it was like all steel. It was really pretty little car too, but we really was mainly for the equipment. Anyway, we get back on. We leave. We're leaving the fort. We jump up on top of the road, which is a raised road. We punch it. We're cruising along. I'm doing about 75, 80 on this black. There's a decent blacktop road. But it's waving, curving through the middle of swamp. There's swamp on both sides of you, and alligators forever crossing this damn road. So we're cruising along, and Linda was telling me there's something behind the car. And at first I thought it was just a car on the road, but then I realized it was higher as it was catching up. As I caught up with the car, I got really close to the car, and as it passed over the car, the whole car went dead. The phone went dead, the car went dead, everything went dead. It was just like out of a freaking Close Encounters movie or something. And we just started slowing down. And then the thing passed over, and the car started running again. So then I punched it. Right as I get ready to punch it, out of nowhere comes this vehicle, just zings by. It's all white. It's got tags on the back of it. It says U.S. military. It was a government tag. I couldn't make out what branch it was, but it was definitely a military tag. When we checked it out, we couldn't find any registry to any military to it, but we got a picture of it as well. And it was just so creepy. I just felt like more of a warning. Hey, Joe, maybe you shouldn't be here. Maybe you should be somewhere else. Any other place but this place. Which, I guess in some ways makes sense. But we were out there chasing UFOs. We found this, and we were, and I knew it had to be probably more government related than alien, because somehow or another we were able to catch up with it by crisscrossing across the swamp. Well, I know the swamp really well too. That helped. But we were able to crisscross until we got to where we needed to be. And it was weird. Now, this whole area, the same area I was talking about, several things have happened to us back there. So right after Katrina, I had some friends of mine come in. Jason, God rest his soul, he just passed, but he is from Texas, around not far out of Houston. Good friend of mine, Canuck Mike, he was from Saskatchewan, Canada. He had come down, but we had a group of people in from all around helping my company with Katrina. So him and Mike and I and Jason decided one night we would go out to Honey House Swamp, the 3 of us. We'd been working our asses off. We were tired, putting in 14, 15, 16-hour days. We were just ready. We really thought it was going to be more of a relaxing break than anything else. Well, we're sitting back there. And Jason's like, "What is that? What is that?" I'm looking. I'm like, "I don't know what it is." And it looked. So you see what looks to be a TR-3B just cruising along, what looks to be a silver saucer, and what I would think was an F-16. That's what it looked like. And all three of them were going into the NASA facility, Stennis facility, and you could see them coming down and where they were landing. And there's a few runways back there. See, the NASA Stennis facility back in the day took over 5 towns, actually 4 towns, and I think it was a principality. But anyway, they took them over so when they were launching the engines, it wouldn't blow out everybody's engines, because when they built, because that's where they test the rocket engine is for NASA's right there at Stennis. So these things would rumble windows all the way to New Orleans. But if you were inside the zone, it would just blow all your windows out, blow your car windows. It was causing all kind of damage. So NASA just took all the land, bought them all out. There's still graveyards now. If you could ghost hunters, there's some spooky graves back there that's still being kept up from the old towns, from like Napoleonville was 1746 or 1756 when the town was built. They got a bunch of baby graves back there. I guess they had like a epidemic or something come through. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. But just if you're a ghost hunter, there's some pretty spooky ones back there. But the whole area, it just always seems like we always run into something back there. So anyway, all this is going on. So we decided, okay, we got some okay pictures. You could tell what they were. So we decided we're going to leave before something bad happens, right? So we get in the car. We're cruising out. We stopped to get something to eat somewhere. It was early in the morning, it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. We stopped and got something, some fast food place that was still open. We got some breakfast, and we're driving along. And Jason, it's taking a long time to get back to the interstate. I'm like, no, we're on the interstate. Then I realized we had not only driven past our exit to get off to go across the bridge, because you had to cross the causeway to go back to where we were. We had missed it by like an hour. Maybe an hour and a half. There's no way we hadn't been driving, but an hour. And that put us 4 hours from where we were in the swamp. So we're all like, wait, what just happened? I mean, completely. It's 3 hours just gone. No explaining it. No way to explain it. Nobody wanted to be hypnotized. It was just gone. And the funny part is I had been on the phone with Linda at, I think it was like 1:30. We were stopping to eat. I said, hey, we're going to grab a bite to eat, and then we'll be home. And then we got home at, I think it was 5:45 a.m. Yes, very, very, and I mean, we were literally a good hour and a half past the exit. And the thing about it is, this particular exit is very lit up. You can't really miss it, because it's the exit that takes you to cross over to the longest continuous bridge in the world. So they keep it lit up bright so that you don't miss it, because that's the only way to get across Lake. If not, you have to drive like 3 hours around the damn thing to get. That's why they built it. Where's that, Jimmy? I don't know. ET, ET's here for what ET's here. I mean, what do you think they want? Peace, love, and light. Love, light, and laughter. Kiss my big gray ass, and So it's like Three-Eye Atlas. If that's an alien, or if Oumuamua was an alien, you'd have to wonder what's. They don't seem to be all that interested in us. Too primitive, maybe. Not really. I mean, too primitive, maybe. It's I mean, it's as races go. I mean, we're pretty primitive race. We're just babes. We're just babes in the woods. I mean, we can barely get into space. We do have Voyager now that's outside of our solar system now, so that's nice. But still, we can barely get into space. No, a friend of mine the other day asked me if I do a science show. Yeah, I'm gonna get one and just geek out. Well, I got a bachelor's in science. I like to talk about science, but science shows are not really built for ratings. Science shows are built for, let's talk about a geeky science. No, cell phone shows, that's different. People always want to know what the hell's going on their cell phone, but just regular science shows are. Space science does okay, but still, especially if you throw some ET stuff in there with it. Yeah. Well, Brenda, that's the thing. The 5 top sightings are still all old sightings. Now we've got, God, I forgot her name now, Miss Scott coming on, and on the 12th on the chat to talk about the Pascagoula sighting, but that's yet another old case. Yeah. No. How can I say this? No. Anyway, sorry guys, I'm reading. That's why I wasn't talking. I was reading sideways, I guess you could call it. So, it's like abductions, the Betty and Barney Hill case. You've got the Shag Harbor case, which, Shag Harbor is an interesting case for the fact that everyone thought it was a plane crash. It was treated like it was a plane, a plane crash. It was treated like it was a plane crash. People went out in boats to investigate, found this weird whitey, yellowish, brownish, foamish stuff floating around on the water. Everybody really did think it was a plane that went down. With, I guess, no survivors is what they really felt like, because they didn't recover anybody. But then all of a sudden, they see this thing light up green and just kind of cruise out into the ocean. It left Shag Harbor and cruised out into the Atlantic Ocean, and then stopped. But I don't know who found that it stopped, because I don't think the people could see it anymore after it cruised X amount of miles. So I don't know if they could see it, but there was a lot of reports of submarines. 2 American submarines showed up with divers and were looking at the thing. And on, I think, the 3rd day they were getting closer to it, another UFO showed up. Another spaceship showed up. Got next to the one underneath it. Someone said it was like extending shields around it and went to work, on it. But no one reported seeing any beams. Not that I heard of, anyway. I talked to 2 of the divers, yeah. So no, they came looking for me, actually. Yeah, I know, that was kind of funny. Well, the show's been around a long time. And back then I used to do a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of that kind of stuff back then. Not as much these days, because even though I like seeing UFOs and sightings are great and everything, I don't believe you're going to get to the truth by chasing lights in the sky. I mean, that's my own personal opinion, mind you, but I don't believe you're going to get to the truth chasing lights in the sky. Maybe chasing politicians in the sky, and I don't even think you're going to get to the truth there. If you're looking for truth from, how can I say this? If you're looking for truth, there's only going to be a handful of people that have it, and most of them are not going to be willing to share it. And I doubt there's more than a half a dozen that know everything that's going on. And even in their cases, I doubt they actually understand what's going on. They just know what's going on. There's a lot to understand. And you have to remember, this has been going on a long time. But how long do you think that our government has had contact with ET, or any government for that matter? Sorry about that, guys. I needed some coffee. But I mean, how long do you think? We're pretty sure that at the beginning of the 19th century, that someone gave the Germans a flying saucer. Because from 1910, 1911, all the way up to about 1917, the Germans were building saucer-shaped everything. They tried to build a saucer-shaped plane, boat, tank, you name it, they were trying to build it. And then let's not forget, they were the most advanced culture on the planet at the turn of that century. Not us, not the Russians, not the Chinese, not the Indians, the Germans were, with us trailing them. But they were by far the most advanced beings on our planet at the time. So if you were an advanced alien race, you might come here and say, okay, let's give them this. And this was before World War I. And maybe this is one of the reasons the Germans are so, let me kick y'all's asses, because we know the aliens. Now, it depends on how you want to believe it, but in Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, he talks about these fair-haired, blue-eyed beings that used to come talk to him and tell him how to do all sorts of things. To learn learning about telepathy through twins and stuff like that, doing all sorts of experiments. God only knows. I know our government got the bulk of those experiments, but I don't know what was. I don't even want to think what was in it. Hey, how you doing, bud? Yeah. Happy early Halloween, guys. 2 days. 2 days. Yes. Well, I love Halloween. That's one of my favorite holidays. What? Oh, the black thing. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Let me jump through some of these sightings real quick, and we'll talk a little bit about that. No, we have. Well, I'll have to tell you on right if I can ever remember what the hell I was talking about. Let's see. Let's go see who's number one case. What do y'all think is the number one on this one? It's the lights above the Jersey Turnpike, 2001. That's a fairly new case. See, we had found some because most of the places, if you could type in top 5 or 5 top 10 UFO cases, they're almost always the old ones. But there were a few new ones in some of these, like the USS Nimitz, 2004. I know of a better one that happened in 83, but can't talk about it anymore. Ohio International in 2006. I know y'all remember that one. That's when they won. They got quite a few pictures of that stupid UFO in that one. Nothing ever came out. Matter of fact, so we'll go back. The Jersey Turnpike, nothing really happened. I mean, nothing came out of it. Did it really draw a big stir? No, it didn't. It was. I think the whole thing lasted like 15 minutes. It was like some strange and orange and yellow light. It was. Yeah, that's what it was. That was picked up on a Tic Tac. Yeah. And then you got the USS Nimitz ones where more than one person saw it. These guys went and gave testimony. They went and talked. Well, the Nimitz had jet scrambled many times over UFOs. It wasn't that uncommon of a thing. It's just most of the time, by the time we got to where they were gone. Well, no, our radar can pick up stuff for a long ways. And believe it or not, even today's radar can even pick up a lot of stealth stuff. I know China and Russia thinks they can't be seen, but I hate to tell them they can be. Oh, I think they really know. Well, it's we shouldn't have to build all this like China. If China was truly interested in being the wealthiest, most powerful nation in the world, they would get rid of their military and let NATO and the United States and Europe defend them, and they could just be a trade thing, and nobody would be nervous about them because they could get as rich as they wanted. And as long as they didn't have a military, nobody'd worry about them. But when you're wealthy and you got a military, it makes people nervous. Unless you're in the United States and then you want us to come save your ass. Well, so like when these pilots talk about seeing things like, you had Black Ace, the Black Ace, that was the name of the squadron. So you had a lieutenant commander on the flight, you had a commander, you had a captain. I mean, these are ranks are serious ranks. Well, like with this one, it just plummeted like first off, it came out of nowhere. It was cruising at unknown speeds. But it did show up on radar a couple of times, which made me wonder if it was actually extraterrestrial, if it wasn't something else. Somebody else testing to see how well our radar works. But again, like I said earlier, when you send out planes to intercept these, most of the time they're gone. And when they're not, they're just hanging around so they can mess with you and play with you. Yeah. Zing around, you fly upside down, fly around your craft while you're flying straight. Just things that would make a normal pilot nervous that it might cause a crash. That's one of those things. Frankie, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out why half the humans want to live here. Much less why ET wants to live here. If I remember the O'Hara case, it was a rainy day. The thing was off to the side. It was over the building. It was like a dark gray metallic piece of stuff. It was just hovering there. Where was it? It was just hovering over a gate somewhere. I think it was United Airlines, if I remember correct. You know what? Let me pull this thing up and look right quick. Let's see. United Airline employee on a tarmac noticed dark gray metallic craft hovering over gate 17, C-17 that day. On November 7th, 2006, 12 United employees and a few witnesses outside the airport spotted a saucer-shaped craft around 4:45 p.m. It got a good bit of press. No, I gotta remember, it got a good bit of press, but then it was gone. This next one, now, I was in Stevensville. I reworked this case, so I'm probably ain't going to be happy about this, but I reworked this case. Viola Harris invited me down to Stevensville for the all-woman STAR conference. So I decided I wanted to go, and we packed up, but then, got the boys. We went, got Linda. We all went down there. And then it was interesting because I had heard a lot of things there that I hadn't heard from MUFON, which bothered me a lot. So, we're talking to the witnesses and, having a good time, and went out to dinner with them all, went and had a big barbecue and stuff. And then later that night, they were having a bonfire on the hill where they saw this thing, where the event happened. I'm like, cool, that sounds interesting. By the way, there are two nuclear silos. I shouldn't say silos, two nuclear reactors in Stevensville. We actually found them by accident. Well, yeah, it's a whole nother story, but we actually found them by accident. Oh, maybe it was fate. Who knows? But anyway, we got to know these guys pretty good, and all the witnesses. So we're out there drinking beer, talking, eating, and the guy starts talking about the event. And he's going on. He starts talking. He says, "Oh, there was two chase planes." I'm like, whoa, chase planes? Wait, nobody said anything about chase planes. Where the bleep did chase planes come from? And he said, when it came over on the nose, it looked like it had rivets that came down the middle and then went around the bottom like this. I'm like, rivets? Rivets? Well, this ain't no blanking alien spacecraft. I've never heard of alien craft with rivets on it. Maybe, Elon Musk spacecraft, but not ET spacecraft. I've never heard of that before. I was kind of like, what? So we got to talking. So then he describes the engines. He said it was kind of just moving along steady. And then you seen these rows. He said there was 8 and 8. He said there was 8, like a rectangle, and then another 8. And he said they all started just lighting up a little, each one at a time. And they were glowing orange and then red. And then they started getting lighter in color. And he said, and all of a sudden they got to this like whitish blue color, all 16 of them, and then poof, the bitch was gone. He said, it was just gone. He said, they left the chase planes. He said it left so fast that it made the chase planes kind of wobble. It just left them in the dust. Even at full burn, they couldn't even get close to the thing. Sounded like an aurora, but I wasn't sure. So I called a friend of mine. Her relative is one of my directors in ICAR, and we got to meet a couple times over the years. And she knew what my security clearance was. So I called her and asked, I said, by chance, have you heard about anything out near where Stevensville is at George Bush or anything like that? And she started laughing. And she said, oh, yeah, we had a Aurora out flying. We had a flight of F-16s out there running interference for it, and it was out flying along with some chase planes. She described this thing exactly the same way these guys did. So I had sent her a picture of somebody had given me, and she said, yeah, that's ours. And she went into detail about it. So I called, who MUFON, and said, hey, guys, look, here's the picture. Here's the witness testimony that somebody missed in your directors, and here's what our friends over at Boeing have to say. They didn't want to change the case. See, that's what happens with cases in ufology, I notice. There's a lot of mistakes in the early cases, and a lot of them needed to be corrected. And somebody's like, well, you're being egotistical thinking you can correct them. Well, one, I got a lot of experiences. Two, as far as I know, I'm the only one in the field with a bachelor's in advanced avionics, advanced electronics, and aircraft recognition with real-world experience and in the field doing all three of those. Who else out there does? And aircraft recognition is an important thing because it's more than just identifying a type of a plane. It's also about propulsion and other things because, sometimes we see these, what people like to call chemtrails. I can't tell you what all of them are. But if you ever see the ones that form the little puffs coming out the sides, it's probably an Aurora or something right like it. It's a pulse drive engine. At first, we thought it was a RAN scoop, but it's something along those lines, but it pulses. And every time it pulses, it makes like a puff. I've seen them come over. That's how we found out about it. That's how I found out about it. But other people I know have also found out. And then we found a source inside that told us, well, verified, I should say. Yeah, it's. No, the PRs are run on, if I remember correctly, either magnetic drive or gravity drive. They argue if they're the same or different. I don't get into that. I know it's a drive, and one pushes, one pulls. Actually, both do both push and pull. But you get extreme speeds that way. At least inside the planet, you can. That's for sure. Well, is it ET tech? Probably somewhere along the line. We don't even know if we're the first civilization on this planet. We really don't. We always assume that, oh man, we the shit, but we don't really know that. And there are things like parts, out of place artifacts that make you wonder. Cogs and gears and specialty stuff found, certain types of batteries, even lithium battery found in a geode. I mean, come on. Geode's 26 million years old, 60 million years old. I mean, what the hell? We found all kinds of stuff locked inside of coal, gears, and cogs that are at least 10, 15 million years old, or probably much older. Some people think upwards of 50 to 100 million. However long it takes coal to form. I don't know. But it's strange. But it does kind of lend credence that somebody might have been here before. And then there's the Pravda map, or the map of the creator, that suggests not just them. So there's Pravda map, then there's the Dogon, and then there's the I was going to say Aborigines, but the Naskins. All of these had some type of aerial view of something. So, well, in the Pravda map, whoever made this map, and they do think this map's at least 120 million years old. That's their dating, 120 million years. That's how old they think this map is. So when you listen to them talk about it, it's an aerial resource map. It's a map of a valley. It shows the rivers and all sorts of offshoots and all kind of stuff, and it shows where the resources were stored on the map from above. Well, as far as I know, if it's more than 300 years ago, there was nothing flying in the sky but birds. And maybe the occasional meteorite or something, asteroid passing by, comet, but shit. As far as in the sky, there wasn't nothing flying but damn birds, and maybe an occasional spear at your head. So when you start hearing about things flying around, and there are lots and lots of times throughout history that men are talking about craft flying around the skies long before we even knew we were capable of flight, you got to wonder what was going on, don't you? I didn't curse. I did not, Jackie. I seen your little thingy go up. But you have to wonder. Or are we the original civilization? Or are we just Martians transplanted on Earth? Because now there's a big argument about because Mars had life long before Earth did. Oh, yeah. Magnitude of maybe 2 or 3 billion years before Earth did. Yeah, they were talking about that just recently. What do you mean 55 billion years? What are you talking about? The solar system's not that old. No, the solar system is going to only exist for 10 or 12 billion years till our sun dies. The planets will still be around, flying through space or something, or being destroyed by some. Well, I'm sorry. Mercury, Venus, and Earth won't. They'll be engulfed by our sun when it goes supergiant, when it goes red giant. But Mars and all that'll just warm Mars right the hell up, turn it into a nice warm planet again. It'll warm up a lot of those moons around Jupiter and Saturn. Yeah, you have a whole new ecosystem going out there for another 5 billion years or so. And then poof, it's all gone. But, if I remember correctly, we'll be emerging with Sagittarius. I mean, not Sagittarius. We'll be emerging with Andromeda by then. In less than 1 billion years, we'll be hooking up with Andromeda. Well, right now, our Milky Way has eaten like 5 different galaxies. We're in the middle of eating the Sagittarius galaxy right now. Yeah, you can go. They got maps of it. Put like sticking out the side of our galaxy and stuff. They don't like to show you those in the shots, but there are. And one day, because Andromeda is way bigger than we are, it's going to suck us up, and our black hole is going to merge with it, and eventually everything in the two will settle down and create a supermassive galaxy. I don't know, But we'll as long as we don't get destroyed, our sun will still have 4 billion years of life left in it. So, and by then, I'm pretty sure we'll be moving around. So red dwarfs and all, or red giant. Well, red stars in general have long lifespans, 70, 80, 90 billion years old, whereas our yellow sun only has about a 10 billion year lifespan. So if you're living on under one of those suns, the chance of you developing into something super advanced is quite good, because you can take your time. There are also less problems with suns like that. They're more consistent. There's not all these solar flares and stuff. So for an environment, it's actually much better. Rini, I did see that. The yet another planet they found that they think there's life. Well, this one they think is completely covered by water, though. This new one they found, it's 2.5 times the size of Earth. They don't think there's any land mass above water there. I don't know why. They just don't. Hey, Heidi, how you doing, sweetie? It's no, they don't. I don't know why they don't. They just don't. Well, when we were talking about the red dwarf a few minutes ago, think about those ice worlds out there. When the sun turns into the red dwarf, I mean the red giant, sorry, it's going to warm all those worlds. Even Pluto will probably start to melt. God knows what's going to be out there. But we'll all be long dead and dust, and as far as anybody knows, didn't even exist by then. Yeah, like I said, a billion years. All we can hope is in a billion years when we start merging with Andromeda, because it'll take probably about another billion years for it to all settle in, is that we don't run into something. Or get caught by some super giant sun that sucks us in and holds us there and locks in. And become like a trinary star system with 50 planets and 5,000 moons or something. You get quite busy in places like that. Somebody's going to mess up driving one day. What's that, Jimmy? Actually, we got to take a break right quick. But it's a short one. So, yeah, we're going to take a short one. What is that? 2 promos and a song. Yeah, it's about 4 minutes, I think. I don't know. I haven't. Oh, you know what? I haven't seen Jay. No, he hadn't texted me. I don't know what happened to him. I was kind of worried about him. I thought he might have got taken by aliens and being probed or something. You telling that? I'm not telling you that. No, I'm not telling you that. Anyway, we're going to take a break right quick. You're listening to United Public Radio, UFO Paranormal Radio Network, UFO Undercover with Joe Montaldo. Yes, I have been. Thank you, Clarissa. Yes, I have been a little tongue-tied. Bite me. How's that? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, see you in just a few minutes.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward. Have you ever felt you weren't alone? Something in the shadows, a light in the sky, a creature no one believes you saw? Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast, where ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, aliens, and the unknown aren't just stories. They're real encounters. Join me, Kat Ward, every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM, New Orleans, and
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Show yourself.
Oh, well, welcome back. Yes, like I said, it was just a short little commercial. Well, we got too much stuff to talk about, and it was very short. I've told that story a million times. You mean about the black thing? Yeah, I have told it a million times. Why, when we tell you a million and one, you know what? I should have got a damn sip of coffee when we were at break, but no, I was fiddling around with something else. I haven't seen anybody like that, but why can't real fast? It takes too long to tell it real fast. Okay, because it's Halloween, I'll tell. I'll probably tell it Friday night though. Well, in this place in Honey Island Swamp, back up against the side of NASA, what I was talking about a little while ago. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff happens back here, and we were back there. We was in an all black car, and we were just sitting there. The engine was running, but the lights were off. And we were just sitting there talking. Had the moonroof cracked a little bit, and we were just talking. Then we cracked the moonroof a little bit more so we could see the stars. And back there, it's weird to start off when you're that far back in the swamp. Even in a car, it still feels weird because there's nothing out there but animals. And if you do see a person back there, you better be having a gun on you because God knows what's going to happen. And I'm talking about the time of the morning we were back there. That's all. And so we're sitting there just chatting away, smoking cigarette people. Jesse. Anyway, no, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but that was a long time ago. But anyhow, stop interrupting. So anyway, we're sitting there just chatting, and I was doing something. And I reached over. I was doing something with Lyndon. I reached over. I think I was messing with the radio. It's been so long now. But whatever it was, I stepped on the brake by accident. Just stepped down, push forward, and I stepped on the brake. And when I did, I looked up in my rearview mirror and I seen the big, red light all light up back there, and something looked like it went. And let off. I left the light thing for a minute. And I was like, and then I did it again, and you could just see something rushing up behind the car. Whatever it was. So the first time it looked like, how can I explain this? It looked like the blackness in the black moved forward. So we're in a Hulihan swamp. There's woods and it's dark all around you. And it's dark. I mean, there's no moon out that night, so it's dark. Poof, I seen it. And so when I did it again, and I was holding my foot on the brake, because it seemed like the light stopped it. I don't know how to explain, but anyway, I was holding my foot on the brake, and Linda and I were looking at, and I popped the brake a couple times, and it moved again. And I said, "The hell with this!" I put the car in drive and just punched it. So now we're in a gravel, rocky, old, beat up, dirt shit road. God, probably been back there for 200 years. And we're now cruising the roads maybe 8 foot wide, maybe 10 foot wide. I don't know. But we're now cruising 100 miles an hour to get out of there because this thing is like on the bumper. Because with the lights on, you could actually see. And I had this thing rigged on my reverse lights so I could actually turn them on like truck bed lights. So I flipped them on and you could see this thing. And it was just staying, I don't know, 10, 15 feet behind the car, maybe 20. It never seemed to get right up on us. We got close, and it was weird, but I guess as long as the taillights were glowing, I didn't want to get that close. I'm guessing, by the way. So anyway, we're hauling ass. We're getting near the end of this road where you got to go up to the other road. It's a big, like, incline going up, and then there's the road right there. And then if you miss, you're going to go roll onto the other side, which there's a road there. So if you fly over the top of it, at least you'll land on a road. But the thing, from where you are on the dirt road to where the blacktop road is a lift of about 25 feet. So, and it's a pretty sharp one. That's how they got it. It's like going up a levee. So we're cruising. So I punch it a little bit. As we're going up the levee, I cut the car sideways, and the car kind of went up, like it just kind of slid up and plopped its ass on the ground like this. I reached out the window with, do I have it here? Oh, I would have shown you. Oh, yeah, there it is right there. I didn't have Martha back there, but I had this one with me. I reached out the window with this thing, just right out the window. And the flash from the muzzle made it stop. The bullet didn't do it. Whatever it was, the bullet would have passed right through it. Didn't even seem to phase it. It was like the bullet was a waste of time. But the flash made it stop for a minute. So I set the gun down a seat and then commenced to flying down this blacktop road. And this car it was pretty fast, but I'm cruising warp speed. And there's bridges and stuff, these little short bridges, and you hear sparks going all over the place, cars like, and we're zinging, and this thing's staying right there. And I know there's a cattle guard coming up with a really sharp turn behind it. So there's no way I can cruise through there without ripping out the bottom of my car, going flying off in the interstate and killing everybody. So I'm flying along, man. I'm just shh. And as I come up to this area, I slam on my brakes, and this thing came right up behind the car, but just kind of stopped. And I shot over the cattle guard, and it stopped. It didn't cross the cattle guard. And I stopped on the other side of the cattle guard about 10 feet up the road in the turn, and it stayed there. It wouldn't cross the cattle guard. You could see it there. Oh, it was, I don't even know how to explain it. But what makes this so bad is the whole experience. The amount of fear you felt was unreal. I don't even know how to explain it. It was, you could tell it was induced fear because there was so much. I mean, I know most of my fear levels because I've been in some pretty hairy shit in my life. So I don't get scared all that easy. And in this case, I was, but so was Linda. But everybody who's had this particular incident with this black thing all feel the same way. It's like it petrifies you. You don't even want to move almost. If I wouldn't have been in the car, I probably would have just stood there and froze. So whatever it was would have just snatched us up. But I really think its goal is to scare you, to get you out of wherever the area is, on whatever they're doing. They want you out of there, I guess. But I've had this happen to some people in Arizona, out in the deep desert. I've had this happen to some people in Nevada, out in the deep desert. In the swamp, I've heard about it only one other time, and that's right where we were. But I've heard a couple other people talk about this thing, and it's just unreal. There are some missing time cases that go along with them. Not in our case, but it's spooky stuff. I mean, I was just like, what the hell? Well, first off, when you see the blackness of the blacks up to you, and it's big, it's not like it's a little bitty. It's big. It's like, oh god, like 4 times the size of the car, and it's oozing and whirzing and moving. It looked like something in space. It was creepy, and every now and then it would take a form, kind of like a man, a big man, but kind of like a man, but not a man. No, nothing came out in video but black. That's all you seen. Sometimes you'd see some shininess off the black, and it would like be kind of like silhouetting, but other than that, you didn't see anything. I've been to that spot 200 times since then, 300 times. It's never happened again. Other things have happened, but that's never happened again. I guess we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, I mean, it is a NASA Stennis facility. There's an underground facility there. Well, thanks to Katrina, we found that out. Big one too. But what? Well, the Oceanographic Society is there. They have they have one of their bases out of there, and there's a couple other things going on there. And they got these weird buoys that look like UFOs. They're buoys. Matter of fact, it was so weird. We were watching. So you can Google Earth and a couple of maps you can watch now. So we're watching these three moving them. They're on land and they're moving them. They were like rolling along like little round tanks, and then they would go down this ramp into the water, and then they would actually motor out to this thing and hook up to a boat and be towed out to wherever they're going. And then they would be dropped and anchored down wherever they were. It was weird looking. They look like fairly decent sized UFO, actually. Probably about a 40-foot circumference, yeah. I don't know, but it was, and it's weird because we scan a lot of that stuff via the using Google Earth and things like that. And we found some weird stuff on Mars using Google Mars. I mean, because there's so much stuff that comes in, it's hard for them to catch everything. It's like JPL Milan goes through all of NASA's photos, but they don't always catch everything. From time to time, they miss stuff. There's a lot of it. And sometimes stuff to us don't mean anything to them. They're like, stupid humans. What are they talking about? Stupid normal people or subnormal people, whatever you want to call it. Yes. You're nuts. No, what did I do with my list? No. We ain't getting into any depth. But Stevensville was interesting. I told you about that. So those are those sightings I just gave you are the top 5 sightings for the 2020s, for the last 20, 25 years. Everything before that is 50 years old. Most of them are out of the 70s. There was a lot of sightings that I said, and none of these sightings that we're talking about here, at least 2 of them, were not extraterrestrial out of the 5. We know Stevensville wasn't. And I'm not sure if the Jersey Turnpike wasn't either. The Nimitz was probably. O'Hara sounded like it was, but you don't know for sure. Well, anything after like 2015, the drones could be involved. Really after 2010, but we'll say 2015. Yeah, well. What are you talking? 10? Oh, UFO books? Hold on. Somebody sent me an Amazon list the other day. It's probably not going to be anything I like, but. Oh, here it is right here. Hold on. Let me see. What is it? This is Amazon's top 10. Let's see. What do we got here? The Big Book of UFO Facts and Figures and Truth. Maybe so. Who wrote it? Do I know the writer? What? No, I mean, if I don't know the writer, I doubt it's all that comprehensive. Nope, never heard of him. Oh wait, no, I might have heard of him. Yeah, I remember him. Okay, one of them I know, the other one I don't know. But it's the big book of UFO facts and figures and truth. When you do stuff like this, you should get the whole field's opinion on this kind of stuff. Because when you're writing it from your own point of view, odds are a lot of stuff you're going to be wrong about. Vortex Speaks: The Reptilian Conspiracy. Ooh, that sounds scary. By J.C. James. Maybe we should invite him on the show. What do y'all think? What is this? Who we got here? UFO generals, pilots, and government officials go on the record. Hey, that could be interesting. Even though I think most of them are fully, what, but the top 10 UFO alien mystery. That could be an interesting book. Could be stuff you already know, but it could still be an interesting book. UFO Secrets Inside Wright-Patterson. Eyewitness accounts of the real Area 51. Now, that could be interesting. Who wrote it, though? Thomas J. Curry and Donald R. Schmidt. Maybe not. I'm kind of 50-50 on those guys. I'm just being honest about my experience. I'm not saying not to get. I'm just saying it's my experience. NASA range rats. The true beginnings. I'm not interested in that. I know a lot about you, NASA, so let's not go there. Let's see. The Day After Roswell. Philip Corso and William Brines. That's also who's in that other book, the one we talked about, that first one, the big book. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all should know. MUFON used to have a UFO show. He was on it. Can't think of the name of it. The Heineck UFO Report. The alternative account of the Project Blue Book cover. Ooh. MUFON. Boo. Boo. We know you're full of shit. That's why we call you MUFON, not MUFON. Yeah, somewhere Walt Anderson is rolling over his grave. The top 10 UFO riddle solutions from science. Unknown objects. Yeah. Close encounters. The unseen side of the UFO phenomenon. Encounters with the unexpected. It sounds like some UFO movie, huh? I know, Don, it is. But no, it's just that was. Before we get into those cases, because we still got a half hour, let me see. I got a thing on some of the hot spots, and then I got another thing on some hot spots that I don't always agree with. So now, hold on. What's that? What you got a list of hot? Well, send it to me. Yeah, we'll do yours first. Okay, what is this? What is this? A new study reveals 10 biggest hot spots. Okay, let's see. What is the first hot spot? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we don't care about that. First hot spot, Chicago, Illinois, O'Hare Airport. Okay. It's not a hot spot. It said one UFO sighting. That's not a hot spot. Do people not know what hot spots are? Hot spots are where there's multiple sightings. Gulf Breeze, Florida. Yeah, there's a lot of sightings down there, buddy. That's a hot spot. San Diego, California, near Navy Island's another hot spot. Well, there's hot spots all around the country, just not O'Hare Airport. That was kind of dumb. Okay, what's next? Los Angeles, California. Well, okay. Los Angeles, California technically is a hot spot. But these people have it on there because of the Battle of Los Angeles in 1942. That's not what makes it a hotspot, idiot. That's just one. What, Jackie? No, because people are just doofy sometimes. Hotspot means multiple, not one. See, now here you go. Gulf Breeze, Florida. And you see, now look, this is what's so funny. When you hear the one that says Los Angeles, California, talks about the Battle of Los Angeles, it's not plural. But when you get down here, it says the Gulf Breeze sightings. Not sighting, but sightings. So this is what's interesting about this area. Gulf Breeze, Pensacola, Destin, Panama City, Fort Walton, that whole area down there, Blue Mountain Beach, Greenton, Watercolor. I used, until this year, I went down there a lot. The whole place is a hot spot. There's also some big military bases down there too. Eglin Air Force Base has a massive base down there with something like 84 runways on it, and it's where all the non-nuclear weapons in the United States are tested, whatever they are tested there. It's a very interesting place. Oh, we got a great saucer landing there. It's on the alienenigma.org site. Yeah, the pictures are up, not the video. But Gulf Breeze has a lot of sightings. Matter of fact, Gulf Breeze, we were on vacation down there when we lost 11 days of time, which we're not going to talk about tonight. But it was funny because we were down there. We had ran into Unsolved Mysteries at one of the hotels we had stayed at, and they invited us out to the fishing pier because we weren't actually out to go looking for UFOs. We were going on vacation, real vacation, 15 days, driving along, staying like 2-3 days at each hotel, driving along the panhandle of Florida, just enjoying ourselves. It's not exactly what happened, but anyway, they invited us to the Gulf Breeze out that night to the Gulf Breeze Harbor. So there was a bunch of people got on the fishing pier. It's about 500 people out there. The mayor was out there, the police chief out there, Unsolved Mysteries was out there. When we seen this green thing coming out of the bay, glowing green, cruising, went underneath the fishing bridge, went underneath the new bridge they had just built, and then went underneath the train trestle. Went out about 100 yards past the train trestle, rose out of the water, and it looked like melting gold was just rolling off of him and plopping out in big balls and dropping into the water. And it sat there for a few minutes. And then poof, it was gone. Unsolved Mysteries talked about it. No one got any footage. Everyone took pictures. It's just everything was a blur. And Unsolved Mysteries was talking. They talked about it quite a bit because there was quite a few people that gave testimony on what had happened that night. It was the Gulf Breeze gets a lot of sightings. John, I've talked about the 11 days, and one day I'll get more in depth into it, or maybe one day I'll write a book about it. Mount Shasta. Now, you know, in all fairness to Mount Shasta, they have had multiple UFO sightings there. Yes. Well, was that Mount Shasta or was that Mount Olympic? I think it was Mount Shasta. It was a 200 and something Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts went on. It was I think a 12 or 14-day trip. And they had a bunch of them, all together there was like 260 people with the support teams and the den mothers, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, they were all there when they saw something what appeared to be a UFO come out of the top of the mountain. And when they did, they said it was like they didn't know they were there because we all seen this thing, and then like 20 minutes later, a side of the mountain opened, a door opened up, and all these army trucks came out and took them all. Yeah, they took them all, interrogated them all. This is an old story, but it's been around for a while. It's been talked about a while. Took them and interrogated them, did all sorts of things, threatened their lives if they talked about it. And about 2 years passed before anybody contacted us about it. And then we got involved and got investigated, and then some locals got involved and got investigated, and the case started getting out. But when we were here, the military was pretty rough on them. I guess they didn't want to see wanted to talk about the UFO they had saw. Was it alien? Was it ours? I don't know. Ketzberg. Okay, another one. Ketzberg does not make a hotspot. Ketzberg makes a crash site, and more than likely, it was not an alien craft. When I hear people talk about this sounds like either some type of Russian probe, some type of Russian satellite. It does not sound extraterrestrial. And from the markings people described, it also sounds like something human. Stevensville, Texas, we just talked about this. Yet again, this is not a hotspot. This is one place, one sighting. People, do you not know what a hotspot is? I'm not talking to your audience. I'm talking about whoever wrote this stuff. UFO Roswell incident. Okay. Roswell is a unique thing because the case itself is very unique. But there have been multiple other sightings in the Roswell, Corona area. So we'll give them that one. So that's 3 out of how many so far? 6? 50-50. All right. Area 51. You can't see anything at Area 51 anymore. In the old days, we just said yes to that in Rachel, Nevada. But today, you don't see squat out there. Yeah, sorry, guys. And Pine Bush, New York, and Sedona, Arizona. secret. That's not all that many sightings in Sedona. It's just the drunks they do out there. That peyote makes you like, wow. Anyway, what Denise? I've been to Sedona a couple of times. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I don't find it any better than any other desert town I've been to be honest. Well, it's vortexes all over the place. I went and stood in several vortexes. Yes, I did. I wanted to feel it for myself. Yes, I did. Actually went to several places, and the worst part about Sedona is it's outrageously expensive. They rip you off on everything they can, from food to gag to get to everything. I mean, trinkets, everything they can, they rip you off on. It's a shame because there's a beautiful town. They got some great places to stay. If you come in from the interstate side and not from the airport side, you get to drive down this mountain that you just kind of do like this all the way down for about an hour. But it's nice, it's beautiful. Plus, on that trip, when you get down to the bottom of the mountain, there's some hotels nestled into the side of the mountain with a babbling brook behind them, and they have fireplaces in the front and big screen TVs outside. And it's a really beautiful place. We enjoyed it. We stayed there for a little while. It's like I said, it's just, and the first time we went was, God, 30 years ago. A hamburger in a town 30 years ago was $16. Yes. Yes. We're talking 95. This thing should have been like $4. That was for a high-end burger. These were just everyday hamburgers. Last time I was there, it was 27. It's a little high. It's just a little restaurant. No, it wasn't nothing fancy. Nothing fancy at all. I would recommend to go, though, yes. I mean, should you go? Yeah. I got some friends down there that still live down there. It's a great place. There's some really good New Ages down there, and a lot of good stuff down there. There's a couple of good shops down there too. I don't know if my friend Melinda Leslie's still down there. She was for a while though. I haven't talked to her in about a couple of years. I really need to get in touch with her. It's been a while. Well, we did a lot of research back in the day together. Yeah. Well, the station kind of got me busy there for a while. And some friends got... Anyway, nothing to talk about, but shit happened. Mm-hmm. Well, where did our list go? That last list that was so far is only... Yeah, so 4 out of the 10 are hotspots. The other 6 are not. I'm going to have to write these idiots and explain what a hotspot is. Well, if someone asked me where do I have a good chance of seeing a UFO, I'd say go to Navarre Beach, Florida. That's a hotspot. Yes, individual sightings there, especially coming in associated with like abductions, are very high. Very high. Hudson River Valley in New York, also another place that's got a lot of sightings. Mm-hmm. San Diego, and there's a couple spots in San Diego, a couple spots in LA too. Well, downtown you're not going to see anything, mainly because you can't see anything because it's polluted, but more so that there's nothing going to be in open sky there. Yeah, anything would be cloaked or hidden, might be a better way of saying it. If he still has it up, Peter Davenport's site would be the best place to go looking for all that. He Larry Hatch used to have the best site, but he retired for some reason. But Peter Davenport has a good site. I haven't been on in a while, so I don't know if it's still there, but we used to use it all the time. It correlates all kinds of stuff, colors and types of UFOs, types of aliens, what states get the most sightings, different times of year, stuff like that. So the number one sighting time in our country is July. That's when the most UFOs are sighted, is in July. Which makes sense because more people are outside and it's the longest days of the year. Makes perfect sense to me. Matter of fact, if I remember right, like National UFO Day, isn't it like July 2nd or something? No. We all came, I'd say we all, but the majority of researchers came to an agreement on this a while ago, 3 decades ago. because that's when you research, that's where you're going. That's when sightings happen the most. That's just going by reports. It has nothing to do with anything else. Let's see. Places with the least sightings. I wonder where that could be. Well, Puget Sound and Washington, Seattle, around that area up there, there's a pretty hot spot up there. So let's see what these people think the top 10 states are. Let's see. Vermont. That sounds like bullshit. Excuse my language. Washington State, yeah, it's definitely. Montana, definitely. Alaska, yes. Maine, not bad, but it shouldn't be in the top 10, that's for sure. New Hampshire shouldn't be in the top 10. Oregon, it could be in the top 10. New Mexico could be in the top 10. Wyoming could as well. But Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire, I don't think they should be in the top 10. I think there's some squirreliness going on. First, they're tiny little states with hardly nobody in them. Well, by the way, Wyoming had like hard. When we drove through Wyoming, it had like 500,000 citizens, what the sign said. Montana ain't much better. So a lot of these states we're talking about here, with the exception of even Oregon, most of these states we're talking about here are low populated states. Vermont, Washington, Montana, Alaska, Maine, New Hampshire, Oregon, New Mexico, Wyoming. That's weird. I find that weird. States with the fewest UFO sighting. Texas. There's a lot of sightings in Texas. District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. There's been lots of sightings in D.C. Louisiana, there have been sightings all over the place. Georgia, not that much. Mississippi, along the coast, quite a few sightings. Alabama, quite a few sightings. Maryland, I've heard quite a few in there. New York, we just talked about the Hudson River Valley. Virginia, New Jersey, I don't know about Jersey and Virginia, but the other 8, I'm kind of like, wow. So that's why you always got to be careful with these things, because one, you don't know who put this stuff together. Yeah. Well, no, they give you, I think they did say, let's see, Vermont's first. It's 92 sightings per every 100,000 people. Washington's 90 sightings per 100,000. Montana, let's see, let's get down to, Idaho is 10th with 68. Arizona, which has Sedona in it, only has 66 for every 100,000. I found that kind of hard to believe. Connecticut has 54. Colorado. Let's get down to these states where they said were the least. Down here at the bottom somewhere. Texas has 20 sightings out of every 100,000 people that live in Texas. There's a lot of people live in Texas. 31 million or something, 32 million. I don't know, people. I think there might be some funny money going on here. Well, so far I can't find out who did it. That's what bothers me. Well, no, they're not. They're not out. They're not saying who actually did the cowards. Anytime people don't put out where they got their information from, you have to just instantly think bullshit. Well, and that's not even counting underwater UFOs. That's just counting UFOs. Yeah, underwater submersible objects. Well, there's a lot up there around the Great Lakes. But not so much in New York. I mean, in Chicago, though. I don't know. Maybe they don't like Chicagoans. I don't know. I'm sure they got their reasons why. Or maybe they just keep quieter there or something. But you're going to always find along the coast is going to be the heaviest amount of sightings. It's not just the coast. Anywhere there's deep water along rivers and stuff like that, it's like they like to move. The phone map will show you that. Also, and there's another reason too, because deep water areas tend to have military bases and parks. And for some reason or another, the places you're most likely to see a UFO outside of being an abductee is near a deep water area near like a Agus cruiser base or some kind of base like that, or some kind of other national base, or a state park, or I should say a national park, the odds of seeing a UFO, they increase greatly. Abductions, they increase greatly. Easy access, Jesse. That's all it is. It's easy access. Top best in the world? Well, I was trying to get into some abductions, but I'll look. Hold on. I got lists of this stuff. I've been having stuff like this for decades, and it does its own update, and it updates against itself to make sure it's up to date, actually. So let's see. Oh, I don't know. Oh no, Darren, but we will do that soon. We're going to do one on SpaceX's Starship. Yes, we are. Oh yeah, we're going to do one on Starship. No, but we will. You know what? Yeah, hold on. I'll play that. Hold on. Let me find out where I'm at. So this is just the top 5 UFO sightings that shocked the world. UFO Day 2025. So let's see what this is. No, I don't mind, Jimmy. If it looks kind of interesting, we'll see. We're gonna put it up in just a second. These shows always make me hungry. Always. Wait, is that the right one? That's the wrong one. I think that's the wrong one. Yeah. Well, I got quite a few links open, so just gotta make sure I'm getting the right one. That's all. Hey, wait, what happened? I must have hit the wrong button or the wrong buttons. Cryptid Legends. What are you talking about, Cliff? I don't know. Maybe we'll check into it one day. Maybe it wasn't the wrong one. Let's see. Or maybe I'm in the wrong place. Oh, this is the right one. Damn, I'm being a doofus. All right, get it on the screen. There it is up there. Pretty gold color back there. Oh, that's kind of nice. Come on, thing. Dun, 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 dun. Well, UFO World Day, we gotta love you. Oh wait, we gotta put this on right quick. Yes, a 10 or he turned into a toad. That's what Michelle DeRoche told me. So if you're listening to my voice and you don't show up, she's gonna turn you into a toad. I don't know. They ain't turning me into a toad. That's gonna be on you guys. Sean Kelly was back last night. From what I heard, he was back on live last night, so y'all can check him out. No, he's recovering. Give him some time. Let him relax. Let him, enjoy his time off. No, let him, take it easy. I don't know. And, well, none of them people, a lot of people who work in the field, so what happens is, it's always good to go over stuff, because I found out early on in the field, if you don't, there's a lot of bad work out there. So it's always good to go over stuff. And we let people go over our research all the time. So it's not a big deal for us. We believe in peer review. I put it public. Look at the blood type study. I made it probably 20 something years ago, almost 30 years ago. And people use it all the time. I rarely get credit for it. The organization rarely gets credit for it. And it should, because without it, it wouldn't be where it is today. Yeah, we put it out and then we made it global. A lot of what we put out goes global. A lot of the terminology you hear in ufology today, well, I should say abduction research, comes from us. We're the ones that normalize things like downloads and a bunch of other things. It's just because we used it on every radio show. Because Paula Harris showed me something. I didn't realize how bad. I knew it was bad when it came to alien abduction, but I didn't know how bad. So I invited Paula on to Wake Up USA one time. And in the middle of the conversation, I started talking about alien abduction. She didn't talk to me for 2 years after that, because she thought that alien abduction took away from the field. Well, now she does the STAR conference, which is about alien abduction. So somewhere along the line, she changed her mind. But not just her, all the ufologists was like that. Stephen Dolan, yeah, a whole bunch of them. Peter Robbins, didn't matter who it was. With the exception of maybe David Jacobs and Bud Hopkins and Heineck, all the rest of them thought that abductions was a bad thing. And it caused a lot of problems on the shows when I did the shows. But, I used to talk about it all the time, and I'd use the terminology and everything. And eventually they started talking about it. Because one, it was the way of the future. And two, it's the only way you're going to get to the truth. Again, you're not going to get to the truth chasing beep and lights in the sky. You will get to the truth either through the contactee and the alien or through the government or both. But that's the way you're going to have to go about it. My favorite abduction case? Ooh, I don't know. Well, we talked about Betty and Bernie Hill last time. We can't talk about it tonight because we talked about it the other day. This is a 3-part show. This is the last one of them. But no, we've got Ollie Saffron's going to be joining us on the 12th, I believe. And then Irvina Scott's going to be joining us on the 12th on the chat to talk about Pascagoula. Dolly's coming on to talk about her own personal experiences. And then I believe Tom Wood is set for December 3rd for UFO Undercover as well. Well, no, just I had a lot of stuff to get out. Anytime we get a lot of data, stuff we got to get out, which sometimes takes up to 2 years to get it all out. What we'll do is we'll do a lot of database shows, a lot of shows just talking about stuff that, stuff that we're talking about, plus updating stuff as we go along. I know what you mean, Jelly Bean. Let's give somebody a free plug right quick. We just throw it up there. His next show is Sunday, I believe. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, his next show is Sunday. Cindy. So we are looking for hosts for the chat and for News on the Flip Side. News on the flip side, you just have to know your news. It doesn't matter what your political views are. You can be a libertarian, you can be a liberal, you can be whatever you want. I'm a centrist. There's a couple of GOPs in the network. There's a couple of libertarians, but we don't really care as long as you can engage a conversation without getting mad and overly mad at somebody. No, the station takes a more middle of the road view, but most of our hosts. Well, we have a wide range of political and religious views on the network. I'm not big in the cookie cutter network because it's boring if everybody's just parroting me. What the hell would you want to listen to that for all the time? So, unless I'm in one of my crazy moods. Well, see, Denise, to me, the Betty and Barney Hill, that the case that happened in the United States was not the abduction. The abduction that they're talking about happened in Canada. And the military abduction happened in the United States. I think that big famous case that everybody's made for all of the years, I think that's a military abduction case. It's a MILAB case. There's too much evidence to it. There's way too much evidence to it. Too many things that she said herself that you can hear for yourself. And Kathleen Waldron took off some, well, let's just say she changed some stuff. How's that? Some key things. If you go read the book, the original, or go listen to any of the interviews and then go read what Kathleen Waldron said. And if you want to shortcut it, on the ICAR1.com site, there's a discussion between Kathleen and myself about her book and what the differences in the information was. It's all in black and white. You can go read it yourself. It's been up there for years, 20 years at least. Well, I've been playing nice the last 10 years because I've been busy with other stuff. I've been just really into the radio station and abduction research, because being a ufologist is a pain in the ass. So where I used to, no, I still lecture. I just pick and choose where I want to go. And that, and I do political stuff too. So the political lectures are more fun. Yeah. Ufology is great, and I love talking about some of my favorite things to talk about. But, well, you can't appease everybody. You really can't. No, you want to hear us talk politics? Friday night, 9 to 1 a.m. Come talk to us. If you think you can hang or bang, come talk to us. This Friday night, I may take the night off because we have Halloween parties going on all Friday night on the network. Like that one I just played. Yeah, that's this one right here. And then Don't Whistle at Night's also got a Halloween party. So, well, I'm gonna check the news feeds tomorrow because I gotta do some website work tomorrow. So I'm gonna check all the news feeds tomorrow. But really, trade news has been kind of slow. I mean, it's mainly shut down BS. There hasn't even been a lot of UFO news. It's just been kind of blah, which is good. Blah is good. Nobody's killing nobody. Nobody's blowing nothing up. No, things happen. I mean, when you live on a planet with 8 billion people, stuff's going to happen all the time. Thank you. You like my hat? I wear it every once in a while. I got some other different hats in this. I got a cowboy hat too, but I don't have my duster here, so you won't see me wearing it without it. Yeah, duster, long coat. I'm actually looking for a nice long winter coat, a nice scarf for this year too. A man should look good, Denise. Yes. You should always look good. What the hell? Even if I'm in jeans, I want to look good. I usually have a nice pair of boots on, nice shirt. The only time you see me ragging out is if I'm out working and then like doing construction work or out hunting or fishing. And even then, sometimes I'm looking decent. Hey, man, you never know who you're going to run into in the middle of the woods. In the old days, would be nobody. Today, it's just no telling. No, but we got to get out of here because Michelle's coming up next. Yeah. I'm not sure who was on it. No, I know what case you're talking about. No, we didn't handle it. That wasn't one of ours. It was MUFON's case. Or, well, somebody's case. MUFON didn't really do UFO abductions. They say they do it now, but they F around. They don't really do anything. They're garbage. That's like one of their directors one time sent me a thing telling me, cease and desist, you can't use paranormal radio. I said, I fucking own paranormal. Excuse my language. I said, I own paranormal radio. What are you talking about? I can most certainly use it if I want to. You can't use it. That's what happened. Somebody called her out because she was labeling her podcasting so close to my station. She's trying to make it sound like she was on our network, is what she was trying to do. So her lawyer had called me and told me so. I said, feel free, buddy. I said, I'll own this case. I said, your girl's trying to sound like she belongs to my network. I said, I will sue the crap out of you if you don't leave this alone. And it went away, of course, because they didn't want to get sued. I tell people all the time, I've been doing radio a long time. I'm not completely ignorant to how it works. And I'm in public radio, which works even different. No, we got to go. Yeah, pretty much most of November, there'll be guests on with us. Parts of December, because I haven't went through the entire calendar yet. No, well, no, Thanksgiving always falls on a Thursday, doofus. You're a doofus, man. Oh my God, you're a doofus. Christopher, I got the 19th and the 26th open in November. December, December the 3rd is blocked. So we're going to have Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve will be on my shows in December. So those two, we won't do shows those 2 days. And yeah, so you'll have 2 weeks in December. I'll be on live. I mean, on this show. And then what do we got? 4, whatever, how many other weeks in November? But in November, usually have 5 weeks. There'll be, yeah, that's 5 weeks. So that's 7 weeks. Yeah, because it's the last week on this show. So we'll have 7 more weeks of UFO Undercover, and then I'll have a 2-week break going into the new year. So I'll be back on, if AI Atlas, if 3I Atlas don't kill us, I'll be back on January 7th. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, my show's going to be, that's the day before my birthday. When's my son's birthday this year? Sunday this year, huh? All right. Good day to have a birthday. But we got to go. I want to thank everyone for, what's that, Jeffrey? What are you talking about? Oh, you think Trump knows about ET? He might. He's a 2-term president. I'm pretty sure only 2-term presidents get to know. At least in the last 100 years or so. That's all I get to know. And not all of them get to do. Most of them seem like they were Republican presidents. Oh, I don't know why. Obama didn't know. Clinton wanted to know, but he didn't know. Clinton tried everything he could to find out. I mean, he went crazy trying to find out. Yeah. I don't really know, but he did. He went that poop crazy trying to figure it out. Yeah. Anyway, let me tell you who's on Michelle's show, and then I will get out here and let y'all go hang out with her and see how nice and sweet and kind she is and all that fun-loving stuff. Who does she have on tonight? Honey, what is this? Well, let me see. Let me open it up where I can actually see it so I can actually read it. Maxim Furk, F-U-R-E-K. Sounds interesting. It's called the Pennsylvania Amityville Horror, the Smurl Family Nightmare of Demonic Possession. I know I never heard of this, so y'all get to go look at this. I don't look at this kind of stuff. I leave that to you to you paranormal people. I'll go chase the ghosties. I'll chase the aliens. How's that? Works for me. Anyway, guys and girls, on that note, we got to get out of here. Again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. I hope you enjoyed the show. Of course, any moans, groans, bitches, complaints, or gripes, please write to Michelle DeRoche. She loves to hear from y'all. She really wants to know why y'all don't, write to her more. She feels estranged. Good night, everybody.